You finally made it to $75,000 a year. Your parents are proud. Your friends think you're doing great. But here's what nobody tells you. You feel broker now than when you made 50. Your rent ate the raise. Groceries doubled. Insurance went up. And somehow, despite making more money than 60% of Americans, you're still living paycheck to paycheck. So what changed? It's not you. It's not your spending. Something fundamentally broke in the American economy between 2020 and 2026. And if you don't understand what happened, you'll keep chasing a number that will never feel like enough. Let me show you exactly where your $75,000 is actually going. My name is John, and I spend way too much time thinking about why a $75,000 salary in 2026 provides less purchasing power and financial stability than a $50,000 salary did in 2019. If you are someone who finally broke into that $75K salary range, maybe you switched jobs, got promoted, or worked your way up over 5 years. Your parents are proud. They never made this much. Your friends congratulate you. On paper, you're doing well. You're officially above average income America, but here's what nobody warned you about. You feel broker than you did at 50K. Your rent or mortgage ate half the raise before you even saw it. Your car insurance doubled because you moved to a better zip code. Groceries that used to cost $100 now cost $180 for the exact same cart. Your health insurance premium went up. Your good neighborhood has HOA fees. You finally have the income to save, but somehow there's less left over than when you made less. You're not buying luxury items. You're not living lavishly. You're just trying to live a normal, responsible adult life. Have a safe place to live, reliable transportation, healthy food, and maybe save a little. But every month feels like a puzzle where the pieces don't fit. You lie awake wondering, if I can't make it work at $75K, what salary do I need? $100K? $150K? You're terrified that the goalposts will just keep moving, that no amount will ever feel like enough. You thought the salary would be your breakthrough. Instead, it feels like you're running faster on the same treadmill. The worst part? You can't complain about it. People hear $75K and think you're doing great, so you smile, nod, and quietly panic about whether you'll ever feel financially stable. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Look, the first thing we need to address is a lie you've been told, that a certain salary number equals financial security. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau reported in late 2025 that the median household income in America is about $74,000. So mathematically, you made it. You should feel comfortable, right? Wrong. Here's the mistake everyone makes. They compare their salary to other people's salaries instead of comparing it to the actual cost of living. A $75,000 salary in rural Oklahoma is not the same as $75K in Denver or Austin. But more importantly, $75K in 2026 is not the same as $75K in 2019. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, cumulative inflation from January 2020 to January 2026 was approximately 23%. That means if you were living comfortably on $50,000 in 2020, you need $61,500 in 2026 just to maintain that exact same lifestyle. But that's just the average. Housing inflation in most metro areas was closer to 35 to 40%. Groceries went up 28%. Car insurance increased by an average of 32%. Health insurance premiums for employer-sponsored plans increased 26%. So you got a raise from $50K to $75K. That's a 50% increase. And you think you're crushing it, except after taxes. That $50K is actually about $42,000 in take-home pay. And $75K is about $60,000 in take-home. So your actual purchasing power increase is $18,000. But if your rent went from $1,200 to $1,700 a month, that's $6,000 of your raise gone. If your car insurance went from $110 to $150 a month, that's $480 annually. If groceries went from $400 to $550 a month, that's $1,800 gone. Your raise is evaporating, and you haven't even bought a single thing you didn't already have. Okay, so let's talk about why this hurts so much psychologically. First, there's something called a hedonic treadmill, and it's destroying your ability to feel financial progress. Basically, humans adapt to new conditions incredibly quickly. You get the $75K job, you feel amazing for about 2 weeks, and then it becomes your new normal. Your brain recalibrates. What felt like abundance 2 weeks ago now feels like baseline. But here's where it gets worse. You're not just adapting to your own situation. You're comparing yourself to everyone around you. And this is the silent killer. Social comparison is the #1 driver of financial dissatisfaction. You see your coworker driving a new Tesla. You don't know they're $40,000 in debt. You see your college friend posting vacation photos from Italy. You don't know their parents paid for it. You see your neighbor with the renovated kitchen. You don't know they took out a home equity line of credit they can't afford. But your brain doesn't care about their behind-the-scenes financial disaster. Your brain just sees, they make similar money to me and they have nicer stuff. Therefore, I'm failing. And this is the brutal part. At 75K, you're in this weird middle zone where you make too much to qualify for sympathy, but not enough to feel secure. People making 40K think you have it made. People making 150K think you're barely scraping by. You're stuck in this financial no man's land where nobody understands your stress. Then there's what I call the financial loneliness effect. You can't talk about this with anyone. Your parents think you're rich. Your friends making less than you think you're complaining about nothing. Your friends making more than you don't understand why you're struggling. So you suffer in silence, which makes the anxiety worse, which makes you feel even more isolated and broken. There's also loss aversion at play. Your brain feels the pain of losing money about twice as intensely as it feels the pleasure of gaining money. So when your rent goes up $300 a month, that pain is visceral and immediate. But when you got your raise, that was exciting for a moment, but the pleasure faded fast. Every bill increase feels like a personal attack. All right, let's do the math. I'm going to use a real example based on Bureau of Labor Statistics data from 2026 for someone making $75,000 in a mid-tier cost of living city. Not New York or San Francisco. Think Denver, Austin, Seattle suburbs, Charlotte. $75,000 gross income. After federal taxes, FICA, state taxes. Let's say you're in a state with 5% income tax. You're looking at about $60,000 take home annually. That's $5,000 per month in your bank account. Sounds like a lot, right? Let's break it down. Housing, $1,850 a month. The median rent for a 2-bedroom apartment in a safe, decent area of a mid-tier city in 2026 is about $1,900. If you bought a modest house, your mortgage, property taxes, insurance, and HOA are probably around $2,000 to $2,200 a month. Let's be conservative and say $1,850. Utilities, $250 a month. Electric, gas, water, trash, internet. In 2026, this is running about $250 a month on average. Transportation, $750 a month. Car payment for a modest, reliable car, $350. Car insurance, $150. Gas, $150. Maintenance and repairs fund, $100. Total, $750. Maybe you don't have a car payment. Great, now you're at $400. But if you live somewhere without reliable public transit, which is most of America, you need a car. Groceries, $550 a month. According to the USDA, a moderate cost food plan for one adult in 2026 is about $390 a month. But that's if you never eat out, never buy coffee, never grab lunch at work. Let's be realistic. Between groceries and occasional takeout, you're spending $550 a month. Health insurance and medical, $350 a month. If you have employer-sponsored insurance, you're paying about $150 a month for your premium. Then you've got co-pays, prescriptions, dental, vision, things your insurance doesn't cover. Budget $200 more. Total $350. Student loans, $400 a month. The average student loan payment for someone with a bachelor's degree in 2026 is about $380 per month, according to Federal Reserve data. Phone, $85 a month. Unlimited data plan. You need it for work and life. Subscriptions, $75 a month. Netflix, Spotify, iCloud storage, maybe a gym membership, maybe Amazon Prime. You're not being extravagant. These are just the subscriptions you use regularly. Clothing and personal care, $150 a month. You need work clothes. You need haircuts. You need basic personal care items. This isn't shopping sprees. This is maintenance. Savings, $200 a month. You're trying to be responsible. You're putting $200 a month into savings. Miscellaneous, $100 a month. Birthday gifts, random household items, the occasional coffee with a friend. Let's add it up. Housing, $1,850. Utilities, $250. Transportation, $750. Groceries, $550. Health and medical, $350. Student loans, $400. Phone, $85. Subscriptions, $75. Clothing and personal, $150. Savings, $200. Miscellaneous, $100. Total, $47.60. You're making $5,000 a month. You're spending $47.60. You have $240 left. That's your margin. That's your buffer for when life happens. And here's the thing. We didn't include car repairs. We didn't include a vacation. We didn't include going going out to dinner more than once a month. We didn't include new furniture. We didn't include saving for a house down payment. We didn't include retirement beyond whatever your employer match is. This is bare bones, responsible living, and you have $240 of breathing room. So when your car needs new brakes, $800, you're going into debt. When your friend gets married and you need to travel to the wedding, $1,500, you're going into debt. When your laptop dies, $1,000, you're going into debt. You're making $75,000 a year, and you're one medium-sized emergency away from financial crisis. Okay, here's what you actually do about it. Step 1, audit your actual spending. Most people think they know where their money goes. They don't. Download your last 3 months of bank and credit card statements. Go line by line. Categorize every single purchase. You will find money leaking out in places you completely forgot about. That app subscription you signed up for in 2023, still charging you $12 a month. That gym membership you haven't used in 4 months, $70 gone. The coffee runs you don't even think about, $120 a month. Spend 2 hours this weekend doing this audit. I promise you'll find at least $100 to $300 of monthly spending you forgot existed. Step 2, implement the reverse budget. The traditional advice is pay yourself first. Set up automatic transfers to savings. Great, except when you're already living on the edge. That feels impossible. Here's what you do instead. Separate your checking account into 2 sub-accounts. Most banks let you do this for free. Account A, bills and fixed expenses. Calculate your total fixed monthly costs. Rent, utilities, insurance, student loans, subscriptions you're keeping. Let's say it's $3,500. On payday, move $3,500 into account A. That money is dead to you. It's for bills only. Account B, everything else. The remaining $1,500 stays here. This is groceries, gas, entertainment, clothes, savings, everything discretionary. Why this works? You can't accidentally spend your rent money on brunch. Your fixed costs are protected, and you can clearly see how much you actually have for variable spending. Step 3, attack the highest paying expense, probably housing. Your biggest expense is almost certainly housing. And here's the brutal truth. If you're spending more than 35% of your take-home pay on housing, you're going to struggle no matter what else you optimize. $5,000 a month take-home, 35% is $1,750. If you're paying $1,900 or more, you're in the danger zone. Options: get a roommate. I know you're in your 30s, you make $75K, you don't want a roommate, but a roommate who covers $600 a month gives you $7,200 annually. That's your emergency fund in 1 year. Move to a less expensive neighborhood. Even saving $200 a month is $2,400 annually. If you own, rent out a room on Airbnb during peak seasons. Step 4, build a micro emergency fund. $2,000 first, not $10,000. The advice to save 6 months of expenses, $30,000, is paralyzing when you have $240 of margin. So don't do that yet. Goal 1, $2,000. That covers most car repairs, most medical emergencies, most immediate crises. Take your $240 monthly margin. Put $120 of it into a high-yield savings account. You'll have $2,000 in about 16 months. Once you hit $2,000, now you go for $5,000, then $10,000. But trying to jump straight to $10,000 with your current margin is why you keep failing and giving up. Step 5, negotiate your big 3: insurance, internet, phone. Most people overpay for car insurance, internet, and phone service by a combined $150 to $250 per month because they set up years ago and never revisited it. Car insurance. Call 3 competitors. Tell them your current rate. Ask them to beat it. If they can't, call your current provider and tell them you're switching unless they lower your rate. This takes 1 hour and can save you $40 to $70 monthly. Internet, same thing. Providers give new customers better rates. Call and say you're canceling. They'll transfer you to retention. Retention has deals regular customer service doesn't. Phone. Do you actually need unlimited data? If you're on Wi-Fi 90% of the time, you could drop to a 15 gig plan and save $30 a month. These aren't sexy changes, but they're $200 a month, $2,400 a year. Subscribe, like, and comment one money mistake you're fixing after watching this. Here's what nobody wants to say out loud. The social contract broke. For decades, the deal was simple. You go to school, you get a degree, you get a decent job, you work hard, and you get a middle-class life. A house, a car, a family, a vacation once a year, and retirement at 65. That was the deal. That deal no longer exists for most Americans. And it's not because people aren't working hard enough. It's because the cost structure of American life fundamentally changed while wages didn't keep pace. In 1985, the median home price in America was about $75,000. $1,000. The median household income was about $27,000. A house costs about 2.8 times your annual income. In 2026, the median home price is about $420,000. The median household income is about $74,000. A house costs about 5.7 times your annual income. Housing became twice as expensive relative to income. College. In 1985, the average cost of a four-year public university, including room and board, was about $12,000 total. You could work a part-time job and graduate debt-free. In 2026, the average cost is about $115,000. Even with financial aid, most students graduate with $30,000 to $40,000 in debt. Healthcare. In 1985, healthcare spending per capita was about $1,700 annually. In 2026, it's over $13,000. Childcare. In 1985, the average cost of childcare was negligible because most families had one parent at home. In 2026, the average cost of childcare for one infant is about $17,000 annually, almost as much as in-state college tuition. Here's the part that makes this even worse. The things that used to be optional are now mandatory. In 1985, you didn't need a cell phone. You didn't need internet. You didn't need a college degree for most middle-class jobs. You didn't need two incomes to afford a family. In 2026, try getting a job without a cell phone. Try functioning in society without internet. Try getting a middle-class job without a degree. Try raising kids on one income. What used to be luxuries are now utilities, and utilities cost money. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Americans are working more hours than we did in 1985. We're more productive, we're more educated, and we're falling behind. This isn't a personal failure. This is a policy failure. You are not failing. The system changed the rules, and nobody told you. So the system is broken. You can't fix the system. But you can stop playing by the old rules that no longer work. Here's the strategic shift you need to make. Stop trying to achieve the old version of middle-class life and start building the new version of financial security. Strategy 1, geographic arbitrage. If you can work remotely, even partially, this is your biggest wealth-building lever. You make $75K in Austin. Rent is $1,900 a month. You move to a smaller city 2 hours away where rent is $1,200. You come into Austin twice a week for in-office days. You just gave yourself $700 monthly, $8,400 annually. In 5 years, that's $42,000. That's a house down payment. That's freedom from debt. That's a year of living expenses saved. Strategy 2, reject lifestyle inflation. Every time you get a raise, pretend you didn't. If you go from $75K to $85K, your take-home goes from $5,000 to about $6,700 monthly. Bank the entire thing. Don't upgrade anything. Live exactly like you did at $75K. Do this for 2 years. You have $34,000 saved. The people who build wealth aren't the people making the most money. They're the people with the biggest gap between earning and spending. Strategy 3, stop treating your career like it's 1985. Your parents could work one job for 30 years and retire. You can't. The new model, 2 to 3 year stints at each company, switching for 20 to 30% raises. Internal promotions give you 3 to 5%. Switching gives you 25%. Also, you need a side income stream. Not because you need the money right now, though you might, but because you need the optionality. Freelance writing, consulting, online course creation, whatever your skill is, start building it while you have the safety of your W-2 job. Strategy 4, redefine what normal means. The old normal. New car every 5 years. House in a good school district even before you have kids. Vacations every year. Eating out 3 times a week. The new normal for wealth builders. Drive a paid-off car until it dies. Rent in a modest area until you have a real down payment. Vacation every other year. Cook at home most nights. This isn't deprivation. This is strategy. The people who look rich are usually broke. The people who look middle class are usually building wealth. Strategy 5. Max out every tax advantage space first. Before you do anything else, make sure you're getting your full 401k match. That's free money. If your employer matches 4%, contribute 4% minimum. Then open a Roth IRA and contribute what you can, even if it's just $50 a month. In 2026, you can contribute up to $7,000 annually. Why this matters at $75K specifically, you're in the 22% federal tax bracket. Every dollar you put into traditional 401k saves you 22 cents in taxes now. Every dollar in Roth grows tax-free forever. Here's the final piece. Stop waiting for salary that makes you feel secure. It doesn't exist. I know people making $150,000 $250,000 who feel broke. I know people making $250,000 who are stressed about money. Because here's what happens. Every time you level up, your peer group levels up, your expenses level up, and your anxiety stays exactly the same. The finish line keeps moving. So what's the actual answer? Security doesn't come from a salary number. Security comes from margin. Margin is a gap between what you earn and what you spend. Margin is having 3 months of expenses saved. Margin is having no credit card debt. Margin is having flexibility in your budget. You can make $75K and have huge margin if you live on $50K. You can make $150K and have zero margin if you live on $150K. Margin is peace. Margin is freedom. Margin is the ability to quit a job you hate, to handle an emergency without panic, to say no to things that don't serve you. Build margin. That's the goal. You are not in competition with anyone else. You are not trying to keep up with your friends, your co-workers, your Instagram feed. You are building your own version of financial security at your own pace, based on your own values. Maybe that means living with a roommate at 35. Maybe that means driving a 10-year-old car. Maybe that means saying no to expensive social events. Maybe that means moving to a cheaper city. Other people will judge you. Let them. They're stressed about money too. They're just hiding it better. You know what's actually embarrassing? Being 65 years old with no retirement savings because you spent 40 years trying to look successful instead of being successful. The most financially successful people you know don't look rich. They look normal because they prioritize margin over appearance. And one more thing, forgive yourself for not figuring this out sooner. You were told that working hard and getting a good job was enough. You did that. It wasn't your fault that the rules changed, but now you know. And knowing means you can change your strategy. 75K can be enough, but only if you stop trying to live the life that 75K was supposed to buy in 1985 and start living the life that 75K can actually buy in 2026. That might look different than you imagined. It might look smaller in some ways, but it can also look like freedom, like margin, like peace. And that's worth more than the appearance of wealth. My name is John. Stop working for your car and start making your money work for you.